Alright, everybody, good evening. This is Captain Layton Calhoun with you. Today we're doing a short flight from Miami to Tallahassee on board Envoy Flight 3878. We're headed to Tallahassee today. Little thunderstorms came by Tallahassee today, but we're trying to get into Tallahassee, hopefully with less weather, probably a little rain, but other than that, should be a nice flight. We have ATC as we're on VATSIM, so we're getting Miami departure online today, but other than that, we're hoping for a nice smooth ride, so we thank you all for watching Calhoun Aviation Experience, and we'll go ahead and start getting started. Gonna go ahead and put the weight in for the plane. I'll request a company load sheet. Gonna go ahead and load the plane. Gonna go ahead and do our performance. Uh, Take off. The winds are gonna be 120 at 11 knots. We're gonna go temperature at 31 degrees, and the QNH is gonna be 903. Appreciate y'all guys joining us today. We're doing a nice smooth flight and get back to streaming. I know we've been off of streaming for a little bit, but we're trying to get back to doing that. Alright, we can go ahead and start the plane. Turn on the battery. Arm the emergency lights. No smoke lights. GPU. Go ahead and start up. We're gonna do our fire test. Fire test good. Gonna turn on the logo lights. And we're gonna go ahead and start the APU. We have enough fuel, I believe, for that. I think we should pack a little more fuel. How much fuel we're taking? 8,000. Let me go payload. 5612. And we're gonna take probably roughly 13,000 pounds of fuel. Let's make a load sheet. And now we're gonna load the plane, which should throw off the weights here. Now we're gonna send it to the FMS again. Turn off these warnings. Alright, so they gave us our PDC already. We're expected to be at 10,000 feet. Our squawk code is going to be 7743, so we're going to go ahead and put that in. And I believe we're taking the ILS for runway 36, so we're going to go ahead and put in the frequency for that, 110.3. And we're going to go, actually, to Miami departure. I can go to Miami departure. And we clicked on to Miami departure. Alright, we have Journey Through Sunship podcast with us. Thank you for joining us. That's my dad there. Gonna go ahead and start loading up the thing. Alright. K Miami to KTLH, Tallahassee. Gonna put in the code route, activate. We're gonna go ahead and put it in our call sign here, Envoy 3878. Gonna use departure runway 8 right on the Hurricane 4 departure. Smells transition. Alright, we can do our performance. We're carrying an extra 4,000 of alternate fuel. Cruising out 2 today. Nice 300 cruising out 2. Gonna go over to our weight and balance. Takeoff center gravity is 18.1. Our zero fuel weight is 63,032. And then our cruise winds today is going to be 73 at 45. Doing pretty good. Let's get that. Take off that set. Take off 1. Gonna enter that. We're gonna go flex today. Our flex temperature is gonna be 51. That should be our flex temperature. There we go. Enter FMS takeoff, looking pretty good. Gonna go flaps 1 departure. Go to our data link and load the takeoff speed. So we have our departure here. We have the squawk code in, and I don't think we have to call them up. You have to call them up for a taxi, of course, but you don't have to do a craft or anything like that. Now we're gonna get to Tallahassee, and we're gonna have to do traffic.
1710 heavy, wind 120 at 11, gust 18, RNAV sea salt, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff. RNAV sea salt, clear for takeoff, 8 right, up to 17.
Alright, so we put the altimeter in already. We're gonna set the course to heading 092. Close these. I think we got the APU running now, so we don't need the GPU anymore. We close the boarding doors. Ensure the parking brake is set. I think we're ready to go here. So let's go ahead and call for pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I'll push on to taxiway. We're gonna call them before push just to make sure we are cleared to push on to the taxiway. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-plan this first just to ensure that we are cleared to push back. I'm gonna go ahead and call them up.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Miami departure, Envoy 3878. We're requesting pushback and start at gate D60 Kilo.
Envoy 3878, departure, pushback on November is approved, face west.
Pushback on November is approved, face west for Envoy 3878. Alright, so we're going ahead and push. Gonna change the pushbacks. We're cleared to push on to November, which is right behind us. We're scheduled an hour and 8-minute flight today, so roughly smooth flight. Hopefully get into there. Alright, we're hoping for a pretty good landing. Pretty nice, solid landing going in Tallahassee. I know we just had a little bit of weather, but we're looking to get in today on time. Got, I believe we only have Miami departure today. I think Jacksonville Center hasn't came up yet, but we're gonna possibly do what we call traffic call-outs, where we're gonna call out traffic, make sure we're doing everything right.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Gonna turn on the assassin seatbelt sign and the beacon light. Looking for a good landing today, Dad. We're looking at a nice, smooth flight. Hopefully we get in safely today. Gonna wait for those, and before I release the parking brake, we're gonna change and push on to November today. So hopefully getting out here. Relatively smooth flight today. We got calm wind condition in Tallahassee, but that could change, of course, because we had a lot of rain and thunderstorms that came by, so the winds might change going into Tallahassee. But other than that, hopefully that can change. So we're gonna. All right, we're pushing on to November. You can go ahead and release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and we may start engine.
November 8, Mike. Taxi via November 8, Mike, American 422, and we'll take taxi after the company 2062.
Alright, so we got a lot of Miami traffic today. Got a couple of American jets here. And I like that VATSIM add the engines moving. That's really nice that they did with the traffic. Nice planes out here. We're in Miami. Getting out here. I think we should be the first because I think they said they're holding traffic for now for us. So they'll wait till we push back and we should be taxiing shortly. So we'll see how everything goes. I'm going to go ahead and plan the alternative Unicom right there. I'm gonna switch this real quick. Good. That should go back to our frequency, which is 126.85. 85. And I'm gonna go ahead and start the engines. Y'all enjoy the sounds of the E175. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start engine one, but we're gonna set the parking brake first.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start engine one. I'm about to call them up. Shortly, reject takeoff. And go nav. Flight level change.
American 2062, it looks like you're still logged in the V-pilot as American 617.
Okay, I will disconnect and reconnect for you, 2062.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Miami departure. Envoy 3878 is ready to taxi.
Envoy 3878, runway 8 right, taxi via November Whiskey Mike.
November Whiskey Mike for runway 8 right for Envoy 3878, and we have information Oscar on board.
Thank you.
Alright, so we have information Oscar on board. He said November. I think he said November Whiskey Mike. There we go. So November, we're going to go up a little bit to Whiskey, which should be about, there it is. Whiskey Mike, so we're going to cut up for traffic, of course. Go ahead and turn our taxi light on.
Bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Good,
Go ahead,
departure, we should be good now.
flaps one.
2062 ready to taxi.
Make sure our takeoff trim is set.
2062, thanks for that. Runway 8 right, taxi via November Whiskey Mike.
Alright,
November
takeoff
Whiskey
trim
Mike,
is 4.0.
2062.
We're going to cut off the APU now since we have the engines running. Alright, we're doing a nice flight control test here. And we're going to go ahead and start taxiing. Alright, we have a couple people joining us here on the stream. Appreciate you coming. 564 official, welcome to Calhoun Aviation Experience. We got Pruden Heart of School, which is our mom that does our homeschool for us. Welcome, thank you for joining today. I'm gonna go ahead taxi up to Whiskey. Should be ahead shortly. Alright, we're gonna. Alright, we took Whiskey, now we're headed on to Mike. And we're gonna go ahead and continue. Alright, let's make sure the weather radar's on here to pick up any weather. There we go. See if we got any traffic behind us.
Delta 17.
Got a couple traffic coming on.
Service Germany, please change approved. Have a good flight.
Over to you to complex trade DC. So take that.
8. American 422 Heavy, runway 8 right, taxi via November, Whiskey Mike.
Yeah, November Whiskey. American 422.
Nice taxi out today. We're headed to Tallahassee for those that are joining in. Expected to arrive in Tallahassee on time, probably around 7:13 p.m. Eastern time. Alright, we're approaching the runway, so we should get a call from Miami departure.
Envoy 3878, wind 12011, gust 18, RNAV sea salt, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
RNAV Sea Salt, runway 8 right, clear takeoff, Envoy 3878. Alright, we're clear to take off here. Gonna turn on the landing lights. Strobe lights on. Turn off our taxi light here. And we're gonna start our timer here for our flight to track how long it took. Alright, so we're on the RNAV Sea Salt, so around the departure, the LNAV should kick in, and we should begin our takeoff. So we're gonna go 50% on takeoff. Going stable, and we're going to take off thrust. Alright, we have the gears up. LNAV has kicked in. Continuing the climb here.
Miami departure, 208 with you, climb 3,000 feet now. Just about 10 left on a 4-hour deal.
Bahamas 208, Miami departure, radar contact, common maintain 5,000.
Maintain 5,000, that's 208.
Envoy 3878, radar contact, common maintain 16,000.
16,000 for Envoy 3878. Alright, so we're going to set our altitude to 16,000 on the climb out.
American 2062, wind 120 at 11, gust 18, RNAV sea salt, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
RNAV sea salt, 8 right, clear for takeoff, 2062 heavy.
Bahamas 208, clear direct snapper, climb and maintain 13,000.
Direct snapper clear, maintain 130,000, Bahamas 208.
Envoy 3878, clear direct to Hurricane. American 422 Heavy, runway 8 right, line up and wait. Line up and wait 8 right, American 422.
Alright, I know there'll be lots of ATC for the 730.
422 Heavy, radar contact,
You're flying
maintain
737
16000.
tonight. I know you can fly anywhere in America because there'll be a lot of traffic. Can you repeat that for Envoy 3878? Alright, 10,000 feet. We'll turn the lights off. I'm going to continue our climb to our altitude. Nice climb out. We have the flaps up. Alright, once we get past 18,000 feet, we'll go standard pressurization.
011, gust 18, RNAV sea salt, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. RNAV sea salt, cleared for takeoff, American 422.
Miami departure. This is Envoy 3878. Was there a call for us?
Envoy 3878, you can go direct to Hurricane if you want.
Alright, well, we'll proceed direct to Hurricane for Envoy 3878. Alright, so we're going to proceed direct to Hurricane. That should cut our route a little shorter. So, we're going to continue our climb out and go ahead to Hurricane. Alright, we're going to put it in the VNAV climb. So it's going to drop our speed to climb 1. And we'll continue our climb out. And they should hand us over to Unicom shortly.
Bahamas 208, climb and maintain 16,000.
Time maintain 16,000. Bahamas 820.
Bahamas 208, leave minor space to the east, radar service terminated, change to advisory frequency approved, have a good flight.
Oh, they gonna go Bahamas 820.
American 422 Heavy, radar contact, climb and maintain 16,000. Climb and maintain 16,000, American 422. Envoy 3878, climbing out of my airspace, radar service terminated, change to advisory frequency approved, have a good flight.
Frequency change approved, Envoy 3878. Thanks for the grace.
See ya.
Alright, we're switching over to Unicom. We're going to continue our climb out to 300 as our final cruising altitude. We're going to put in flight level change. We are on the, no, I'm actually not. I forgot to start saying tensions. It would have picked up, where we left off. The other day, our dad did a stream and he used saying tensions and it clicked over once you get off of that sim. And I just happened to forgot to start saying tension. We are on the direct to Hurricane. Looking like there's some smooth weather, so I can turn the seatbelt sign off since we're past 10,000 feet. And we're gonna go ahead and plan the arrival for Tallahassee. You don't have to do it later. We're gonna come in runway 36. It looks like the winds are calm for now, but we're gonna come in runway 36 on the ILSY. going via final, so we don't have to do Sanda. There is no star for Tallahassee, so we're just gonna apply and activate it. There should be a discontinue after Jaw Jaw, and then we get to fly as assigned. So, get there, we'll keep going. Alright, so we're continuing our climb out. We will get cruising out too shortly, and I'll let y'all enjoy the ride. On that, we're looking at a smooth flight on board 3878, service Tallahassee.
3878. Good evening. Maintaining flight level 300. Miami Center. Envoy 3878. Good evening. At flight level 300. Envoy 3878. Miami Center. Radar contact. 4 miles north of Griffin's Peace River Ranch Airport at flight level 300. Sulphur Springs altimeter 2988. Cleared direct NARL. Cleared direct NARL. Sulphur Springs altimeter 2988. Envoy
Alright, everybody, we're still cruising at altitude of 30,000 feet. Relatively smooth ride. We have the seatbelt sign turned off for you. We're about to descend in the next uh, 3 minutes, so we'll be starting our descent shortly. We appreciate you coming along with us. We're expecting to be at Jaja at 11,000, but we're going to come in lower. We're going to go ahead and descend down to 11,000 once we get to the waypoint of our top of descent. As you can see, it's right there. We're looking at the weather in Tallahassee, and the winds are 260 at 10, so we're coming in still runway 36. We're having a crosswind going in. Of course, there's another wave of storm coming into Tallahassee, so we're trying to get in. Hopefully keep the stream rolling, but we do appreciate y'all joining with us today. We're glad and happy to have y'all today. We'll be posting a lot more streams, hopefully in the next coming weeks. We'll be doing a bunch of flights with a bunch of ATC, especially. We just got up Say Intentions running. So Say Intentions will give us guidance into Tallahassee Airport today. So we're looking pretty good for now. We're on Jacksonville Center and Say Intentions, and we'll be descending in the next 3 minutes. Thank y'all guys for joining us on another Calhoun Aviation Experience.
Envoy 3878, at your discretion, descend and maintain flight level 210.
Descending and maintaining flight level 210. Envoy 3878.
Envoy 3878, descend and maintain flight level 210. Envoy 3878, descend and maintain flight level 210.
Descending to maintain flight level 210. Envoy 3878. Descend and maintain flight level 210. Envoy 3878.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our ascent down into Tallahassee. Should be on the ground in the next 15-20 minutes. We're happy to have you guys on board today, and we hope y'all enjoyed the flight today. We'll be landing onto runway 36 into Tallahassee. Weather looking nice and rainy. A little bit of thunderstorms. Got a temperature of 28 degrees Celsius. Should be on the ground in Tallahassee on time. We appreciate you flying on board Envoy Flight 3878, service to Tallahassee. Alright, everybody. We're going down to 11,000. We're now going to go ahead and descend down to 5,000. So we're going to speed up this descent a little bit. They're going to put us right at runway 36, and we'll continue our descent landing.
Envoy 3878, contact Tallahassee approach on 128.7.
Switching to Tallahassee approach on 128.7. Envoy 3878.
Guys, we're being switched over to Tallahassee approach. We're descending down to 5,000.
Good evening, 18,000 for 5,000.
Envoy 3878, Tallahassee approach. Good evening, Tallahassee altimeter 29901. Expect the ILS Zulu runway 36 approach into Tallahassee.
Altimeter
I know.
29901. Expecting the ILS Zulu
I know,
runway 36
Mom.
approach. Envoy 3878.
I don't know. You have to check yourself. Probably. William, you can take them. Just open the door and they'll walk out. We're going to go ahead and turn on seatbelt sign. We're going to go ahead and have our flight attendants prepare for landing. Alright, we're on the flight level change. We're going to descend down to 5,000. Speed is 280 right now, but it's about to drop down to 250. About to get radar vectors to 36 for the runway. We're runway 36, but we're going to take the ILS today. Getting in here before the storms get here. It's been a really interesting weather day into Tallahassee. We had a couple.
Maintain 4,000 feet, turn left heading 275 vectors for the ILS runway 36 approach. Altimeter 29901.
Alright, we're going to turn 275 on the heading. And we're going to go down 4,000.
ILS runway 36 approach. Altimeter 29901. Envoy 3878.
Alright, I'm going to have pilot controls on the comms, so I can do all talking here, so my co-pilot doesn't have to do a lot.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
4,000 for Envoy 3878. Alright, so we're descending down 4,000. We're on the heading of 275, which is about the heading to line us up for the runway. They're taking us on the ILS Z, I believe, so let's go ahead and switch up to ILS Z. That's going to take us a little farther than ILS Y, which will take us to Silval. And I believe the radio minimums should be the same in the frequency. So everything is the same. We're just going to change this from... We're going to still take runway 36, but we're going to take ILS Z. And we're going to apply that arrival and activate it. Alright, other than that, good go. We're at Silval, waypoint Silval in Tallahassee. We got the speed brakes out to slow the descent down a little bit and to get us down faster. We're over the Gulf of America, approaching for runway 36. Gonna close those speed brakes in. and give the time for the plane to come down nice and smooth. It is pilot time for us. We are going to begin for landing now, and we have our flight attendants seated. Passengers are all taking their seats now, and we'll be landing in about, let's see, we're looking at about 10 minutes. So everything's looking good on this flight. So should be out there. Get a good view from the passenger side of the Envoy 3878 on the winglets. We have extended winglets today, long wing for this flight. Alright, everybody, we're at a cruising altitude of 4,000 feet. We should be continuing on the descent for runway 36. Of course, we're headed to the waypoint Civil and should be on the ground in Tallahassee in the next probably 5 minutes. Once the intention turns us to course, we'll continuing our arrival for runway 36. Airport should be out there, but we're cruising over the Gulf of America for now. I'm glad we packed that extra fuel because it would have probably burned up a couple more fuel. We're gonna put in the landing weight. We're gonna take 500 of that, so it's 71900. Go ahead and put 71500. Of course, because we're gonna burn that fuel and we're not exactly at the runway. For the landing speed, the VREF is 123. We're landing flaps full. The go around flap is flaps 4. And that's our landing speed. 295 on Envoy 3878. Alright, we're trying 295. So it's gonna go ahead and line us up for the ILS. So we're gonna go ahead and send that to the FMC or the FMS. We're gonna go to data link and load the landing visa. Now we're gonna go ahead and hit proceed direct to civil, even though we're still gonna remain in the heading. That should activate our approach speed, so I'm gonna go ahead and start slowing this plane down to 210 so that we are able to make that turn. X-plane does simulate the cargo boat, so as you can see, that's one of the cargo boats out there. There's another cargo boat out there, and they're all floating in the water. I think there's one there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put flaps 1 to help us out here. Alright, I put
descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
3,000, Envoy 3878. Alright, 3,000. I'm gonna go flight level change. That should drop us down.
Envoy
Bunch of boats out
3878,
here.
descend and maintain 3,000 feet, turn right heading 305.
3,000 feet, 305 for Envoy 3878. Alright, so they're lining us up. We're gonna slow the speed down to 200. We're about to make that turn for the ILS runway 36. If you are just joining us, we are now preparing for our landing into Tallahassee on the E-175. We flew from Miami. Had a nice flight. We put on the jazz music and everyone was chilling, and we turned off seatbelt sign for everyone, so we should be landing in a couple minutes.
Envoy 3878, proceed direct Bupya. Descend and maintain 1600 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 36 approach.
Alright, we're gonna begin our landing procedures. Gonna make sure our flaps are set. Gonna go to a low enough altitude, so we're gonna put the gear down shortly. We have flaps 2 set. Speed brakes are up. Verified. We have the landing lights on. AP is to the off position. We're expected to arrive at gate Alpha 5, which is a pretty good gate for American Airlines. They normally use that gate at Tallahassee, so looking pretty good. As y'all can see, the weather is not really that good. A lot of rain in Tallahassee, so we'll be coming in to a little bit of rain. We're approaching Crawfordville, so that means that should put us shortly on final for runway 36. We're about to put the approach mode. Let's verify we have the approach frequency in 110.3, which is correct. The final approach course is 004, and the radio minimums are 262. So everything is set. We have our squawk code verified, and we'll be landing shortly. Alright, we're Alright. Tallahassee should be out there in the distance. We have a little bit of visibility. There's a hot air balloon right there, actually. We can see Tallahassee Airport from here. That's the water treatment plant, and the runway 36 should be out here. Yeah, there's Tallahassee Airport, so not far at all. Gonna verify and put the gear down. Gear going down. Gears down through green. We're gonna go ahead and drop flaps 3, and we're gonna reduce speed to 160. We don't have a lot of traffic, so we don't have to come in super fast. We can take our time here. Approach mode is armed again. And for those that are just joining us, welcome. We are descending down into Tallahassee. We're about to establish the localizer for runway 36, and we'll be beginning our landing shortly. We have the gears down, auto brakes set, and our landing performance are set already, so we'll be landing into Tallahassee in the next 5 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've had a great time with y'all guys. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot more streams and hopefully posting a lot more content for Calhoun Aviation Experience. We're doing plane spotting videos, definitely trip reports when we're able to go on trips. 118.7 for Envoy 3878. Our Envoy 3878 is establishing the localizer for runway 36. Alright, there's runway 36 out there. Tallahassee. Tallahassee Tower. Tallahassee Tower, this is Envoy 3878 establishing on the localizer for runway 36. Alright, we're making the turn. And localizer and glide slope is alive. Clear land runway 36 for Envoy 3878. Alright, we're on the glide slope. And we can go ahead and reduce the final approach speed, which will be 128. We're going to come in at 130. We have the flaps down. It's down. Alright, it's landing time into Tallahassee. Gonna go ahead and verify flaps 4. Flaps 4 is set.
1,000.
And we're going full flaps. We have approach 2 phase checked. And we'll be continuing for our landing. Gonna go ahead and take controls for the autopilot. And we're gonna hand fly this approach. Enjoy the landing.
Autopilot.
Looking pretty good so far. A little crosswind, but looking pretty good.
Five hundred.
500 and stable.
Throttle.
Taking the
Throttle.
throttles. Alright, we're slowing down here. We have a great speed. Like we said, we have a little bit of crosswind. Approaching the minimum.
Minimum.
Landing. We're landing here.
200.
Glide slope.
100.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
50.
Glide slope.
40. 30. 20. 10.
And we have reverse green. And we have touchdown into Tallahassee.
Envoy 3878, contact ground on 121.9er.
Ground 121.9er for Envoy 3878. Reversers can go out. We're at 80 knots. Auto brakes can go off. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tallahassee. We have the current local time at 6:50 p.m. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the strobe lights, exit the runway, taxi lights on. Ground, this is Envoy 3878. We are exiting runway 36.
Approaching runway 18.
Tallahassee ground, this is Envoy 3878. We are taxiing clear of runway 36. Alright, we're gonna put the flaps full up. Then taxi to the gate.
Envoy 3878, taxi to Terminal 1, Gate B6 via Alpha, Alpha 12, Bravo 9er, Bravo, Bravo 5. Good day.
Taxiing to gate Bravo 6 via Alpha Alpha 2, Bravo Bravo 9er for Envoy 3878. Alright, got our gate assignment here. We have the APU running, and we're doing good. Hope y'all guys enjoyed the stream. So happy to have y'all guys. I appreciate y'all joining in today, wherever you're checking in from. We had, as we're stopping the timer here, an hour and 5 minutes flights of flying time. Alright everybody, time to reveal the landing rate we had going into Tallahassee at a -1. That's a nice landing going into Tallahassee. We came on the shorter runway, runway 36, because runway 9 and 27 are currently closed. So runway 36 is a 7,000 foot runway, and we touched right in the markers. That's where we want. It's a pretty good landing. Nice landing. We thank y'all guys for joining us again. We'll be taxiing to the gate right now. We're doing pretty good today. We're gonna take Charlie because Bravo is currently a closed taxiway right now, so we're gonna take Charlie to Alpha 5 there, and we can go ahead, park the plane, and show y'all the replay of the landing we had. Really nice day. We had a lot of crosswind going in to Tallahassee, but other than that, we got in on time. Landing, we touched right in the markers. We had like I said, we had a lot of wind. I had the yoke light a lot to the right, but we still got in safely on time. We had a nice, beautiful landing, and we'll be parking at the gate. Alright, we're pulling into the gate. We're going to turn off the taxi lights, and we'll go ahead, turn off the engines, park at the gate. Currently, we don't have no marshalers, so we're going to have to go to the outside view and park our own plane here. E175 parking should be right there. There it is. Alright. The chocks. which would we could take the parking brake off, and we're going ahead and get in the gate here. We're going to use ground objects. Open up boarding doors, and we can turn off the APU and use the GPU's power. So welcome to Tallahassee, everybody. We're going to show a couple clips of the landing. Like we said, we had a -1 landing, which is one of the smoothest landings. And we actually touched down in the touchdown zone, which is really, really good. Go ahead and show the replay. Go back a little bit. Alright, we're going to our nice view here. Should show us a good. Beautiful landing. Very nice landing. And as you can see, the smoke is blowing a lot to the other side, to the right. So that's where all the wind was going. That's a nice feature X-Plane had, was it'll show you where the smoke was going. That's a nice landing. Going to the passenger view. Beautiful. Nice sounds from the reversers here. Thank you so much, Mr. Travis and Mrs. Sandra, for tuning in. We appreciate you joining us. Hope you enjoyed the flight, and we're happy that y'all guys enjoyed the champagne and the jazz music. It's a really nice flight. Thank y'all so much for joining us today. Like I said, we're going to do a lot more streams for y'all, so we do appreciate you for joining Calhoun Aviation Experience, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your night.